You know, there are lies we tell ourselves just to stop us from being happy. Here are 7 of them. Deep within, we have a need to be happy above all else, no matter what we've been through in the past. But do you ever feel like happiness is an elusive dream, always just out of reach? Because let's face it, when you're caught in a cycle of self-doubt and negative thoughts, it's difficult to find happiness. And you're not alone in this. Many of us fall victim to the lies we tell ourselves about happiness, which means we're sabotaging our own well-being. We're going to explore 7 common myths or lies that people believe about being happy, because unless we know what they are, we can't change them. So lie number 1 is I'll be happy when I achieve my goals. However, the reality is that happiness is not a destination, but a journey. We often convince ourselves that we'll finally experience true happiness once we accomplish a certain goal, a promotion, a new car, or that perfect relationship, don't we? But happiness is not a finish line. It's just the little moments of joy that we find along the way. Looking for the nuggets and celebrating small victories will bring us so much closer and much more happiness than any end goal ever could. So lie number 2 is I need to be perfect to be happy, or I need to change something about myself first. On the contrary, imperfections are what make us beautifully human. Just think about society bombards us with unrealistic expectations, making us believe that happiness is only reserved for those who have flawless appearances, successful careers, or ideal lives, when the truth is that perfection is an illusion, and you and I will never be perfect. But that doesn't stop us from being perfectly happy. Just think about some of the celebrities or well-known people that you admire. You may love their comedy or the contribution they make, but you don't expect them to be perfect, do you? You accept that others have flaws. It's just difficult to accept it in ourselves. Embracing our own flaws and accepting ourselves just as we are allows us to cultivate genuine happiness, because it's in our imperfections that we find our true selves. We connect with others on a deeper level and create a life filled with joy and authenticity. So lie number 3 is my happiness is dependent on others or somebody changing what they do. But I'm sure you know deep down that true happiness comes from within you. I know it's easy to believe that work colleagues could, if they could just change their attitude because you have to live or work with others, that can make your life miserable. But there's actually a lot you can do about this, and it comes back to your own choices. We often fall into the trap of seeking validation and happiness from others, whether it's the approval of somebody we look up to, our own achievements, or society's standards. The reality is that relying on external factors for our happiness gives away our power and leaves us feeling empty and unfulfilled inside. True happiness begins with self-acceptance, self-love, and the recognition that our inner state of being is within our control. We get to choose because happiness is not a goal, it's a commitment we make each and every day. So lie number 4 is I'm doomed to repeat past mistakes and I'm worried people will still judge me for them. In truth, all our mistakes are stepping stones for growth and happiness, and everybody makes them. We all make mistakes, big ones, small ones. It's easy to get trapped in a cycle of regret and blame. However, every mistake holds really valuable lessons and opportunities for growth. So instead of dwelling on the past mistakes, we can choose to find the nugget of gold and embrace them as catalysts for positive change. By using our mistakes as insights, we gain wisdom, resilience, and the ability to make future choices for the better. There's not one person in this world who hasn't made mistakes that have helped them to move forward in their life. So lie number 5, I'll be happy when others change. Yet the only person we can ever truly change is ourselves. It's common to believe that our happiness hinges on other people's actions, their behaviours, but it's not true. It's common to believe that our happiness hinges on the actions and behaviours of others, and that's a cop-out. The people we live with, the expectations that others have of us. So we often find ourselves waiting for somebody else to change, another person to be happy, or we seek their validation to feel happy in ourselves. The truth is, we can't control other people or their choices. The only person we have control over is ourselves, and it's our emotions that give us that control. So taking responsibility for our own happiness means focusing on our own growth, setting healthy boundaries, and surrounding ourselves with people who uplift and support us. And that may not be our family. When we stop waiting for others to change first so that we can be happy and start focusing on our own well-being, the happiness becomes the next logical step. Lie number 6, happiness means never feeling sad. But you know that's impossible. Even though nobody wants to be sad, our emotions lead us to a richer and more fulfilling life. And we don't want you to feel like you've failed in the pursuit of happiness just because you're not happy all the time. In fact, it's not possible to be happy all the time, as we need contrast to help us reach for more and provide clarity through contrast. As when we know what we don't want, then we have clarity on what we do want, and that is valuable. Society often perpetuates the idea that happiness is a constant state of bliss, free from negative emotions. This unrealistic expectation leads us then to suppress sadness, anger, fear, believing that they're incompatible with happiness. But your true friends accept you just as you are, not because you're happy. Happiness is not the absence of negative emotions, it's the ability to navigate them with grace and come out stronger on the other side. So lie number 7 is happiness can be found in material possessions. The more we have, the richer we feel. However, true happiness transcends the material realm. Doesn't mean you can't be rich and happy. But in a world driven by consumerism, it's easy to fall into the trap of believing that acquiring more possessions will bring us lasting happiness. We convince ourselves that the next big purchase, the car, the house, the latest gadget, designer clothing, or winning the lottery will fill the void within us. But you only need to see the stats on miserable lottery winners to know that this is a really big myth. The truth is, happiness is found in imagining what you're going to do with the money, not in spending it. Material possessions can only provide temporary gratification. Otherwise, all wealthy people would be happy and all poor people would be unhappy, and that's just too general to be correct, isn't it? Instead, happiness stems from meaningful connections, experiences, and a sense of purpose and meaning that goes far beyond superficiality or material wealth. It's not that money or wealth is a bad thing, but if you haven't learned how to be happy without it, then you're not going to be happy with it either. Because in this perpetual cycle of needing more to be happy and then feeling empty when we have it, we lose sight of what truly matters. They're the relationships we build, the memories we create, and the impact we make in the world. True happiness lies in the intangible aspects of life. The love, the support of family and friends, the joy of pursuing our passions, and the satisfaction that comes from making a difference in the lives of others. It's the moment of laughter, the shared experiences, the heartfelt connections that bring us lasting happiness. By shifting our focus from material possessions to cultivating meaningful relationships and experiences, we open ourselves up to a world of genuine fulfillment. So seek out experiences that nourish your soul, connect with people who bring you joy, and engage in activities that align with your values and passions. It's within the little moments of gratitude that happiness reveals itself. In the pursuit of happiness, we often unknowingly deceive ourselves with lies that keep us stuck in a state of discontentment, such as, I can only be happy with that in love feeling, not in a relationship. That's a true story, by the way. But by recognizing these myths in our lives, we can break free. Remember, your path to true happiness begins within you. Thanks for joining me. I'm Gayle Maree from 6 Dimensions of Healing.